everyone, and welcome to the Basic Latina podcast, an intimate conversation with friends about love, life, wellness, and everything in between. For today's episode, you will hear an interview that I did with Alex and Vanessa Troche. They are a Latino family of 3 small children who own Refurnish CT, a small business that they just opened up a couple of years ago in Plainville, Connecticut. I was really anxious to talk to Alex and Vanessa. I've known them for years, and I've never known them to like antique or refurbished furniture. I had no idea that they wanted to open a furniture business, that they were so good with their hands, and that a young couple like them would attract such an interesting crowd with their store. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this episode because it is a really fun one. I'm here in Plainville at Refurnish CT with my friends Alex and Vanessa Troche, and we're going to dive into Refurnish CT and how you guys got started. Thank you guys for being with me today.
Thank you for having us.
And opening the store just for me.
We did. A personal tour.
We cleared our schedule.
And your store is beautiful. I was just telling them before we started recording that Refurnish CT, at first glance, when I walk in, it doesn't particularly look like my style, but they integrate so many different beautiful pieces that they personally do and a lot of other vendors, which I'm excited for everyone to learn about. So first, I want to mention that I saw Alex in a grocery store, and that's how I found out about
I remember
Refurnish
that,
CT.
yes.
When was that?
That was, I would say like a little over 2 years ago. That was ShopRite, I believe. Yeah.
Did I mention to you that I saw you were refurnishing things like on Instagram?
On Instagram. Yeah, we were working from home at the time, painting and restoring furniture and just posting it on Instagram and Craigslist and stuff.
So the store wasn't even a thing yet.
Yeah.
No.
It wasn't even a thought.
It wasn't even a thought?
No.
Wow, okay. So how did you guys even start painting and restoring furniture? When did you either find the passion or was it something you DIY'd on your own?
Yeah, it was probably about 3 years ago, I would say. So I've always been like super artistic, so I actually went to school for aesthetics and cosmetology because I always liked transforming things. So I used to think that I liked transforming hair, and I thought it was about like transforming faces and the makeup. Yes,
yeah, I remember that. Yep.
So I've always had a thing for like adding color and like I said, transforming stuff. So when it came to our own house, we needed to do it on a budget. So, I had the idea to actually start refurnishing for our own house, repainting things and making things look cooler than, what it was on a budget. Yeah. So, so that's where it came from. I started doing it and I was like, wow, that was actually pretty easy.
It was like a hobby, more so of a hobby.
To make your house look nicer.
Just for ourselves, and I really liked it. There was a point that I was at home and not working and just doing it.
And I used to get laid off every winter because I worked outdoors and landscaping and lawn care.
So I'm like, aren't you bored? Don't you want to paint a dresser? Don't you want to help me move this?
Yeah.
Can you help me move this table so I can paint it? Can you help me bring this dresser outside? And so, at first it was like, are you serious? Fine.
Yeah.
And at the time you had 2 babies, right?
We had all 3. Jackson was a newborn,
though.
Yeah,
he was a newborn.
Okay.
When I started doing it.
We started doing it with the newborn.
Okay. Were you staying at home or were you working full time?
So my career, if you will, has been on and off.
Okay.
So Alex used to get late, he would do the landscaping or the lawn care. So he worked seasonally. And then I would have jobs, but to be honest, I never had a job that I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do forever. And he can tell you, there were so many times that I would start a job and literally that's why I refer to them as jobs, because I would start a job and be like it at first, not mind it was okay, but a lot of it required a lot of time away from the kids, a lot away from the house, missing out on things. And so my heart has always wanted to make sure that we can have a schedule where it's based around the kids, so that we could do things and that we would be involved with the school and involved with activities. Right. So yeah, I was never really happy doing anything.
Right. It wasn't like you had to leave your career to do this. It was,
right. No.
It was this was kind of something you liked doing, and the jobs just seemed like just boring.
Yeah,
boring,
it was
Yeah.
literally just like 9 to 5s, or like I'm not happy here because of this, or I don't like it because of this, and it was just like when you wake up and you're like, ugh, I have to go here. That's the worst feeling in the world.
Yes.
And you basically spend the rest of your day counting down each hour, each minute, to when you can leave and like be free again, to feel that freedom again. And I don't feel like people should live like that.
No, they shouldn't.
I wish everyone could do what they wanted all day, every day.
That's
I
how it
know.
should be. Yeah. Just
Maybe
follow
you
your
can give
dreams.
us some tips.
Yeah.
Just drop,
I mean,
drop
definitely-
everything and just do what you
Do
love.
it.
Yeah, you definitely want to zone in on just something that you enjoy. And like he said, for me, this started off as a hobby and realized like it's easy for me, but there's a lot of people that can't put paint to a dresser or paint to a chair
Yes.
and transform it as easy as it comes to me. It's not the case for everyone.
Yeah.
And for a lot of the people, so then people were asking us like, oh, hey, will you do this for me? Could you help me with that?
So did you advertise on Instagram the things that you would DIY? Or how did it start where people knew that you did this?
Yep. So mostly we were like Craigslist. We were reselling.
We were selling on
Once I
Craigslist
started
a
doing
lot.
it.
Yeah, we would post, our work, like the before and after pictures
Oh,
on our
nice.
Instagram.
A lot
We
of
got
good
a lot of
feedback.
good feedback. Then from there, it's just, I have a dresser. Can you repaint it, or can you do this, or I'm looking for this. So then it got to the point that we also started like buying good quality pieces and just reselling them as is, and then but still painting on the side. So we're doing a mixture of both.
Nice. And when is it that you started to think, okay, I think I need a storefront because we're growing? When did that happen? And how long
I
has
asked
it
for a
been?
while, didn't I? Well,
All right,
You can go.
We can take it back. We always wanted to be our own bosses, start our own business.
Entrepreneurship was always an interest.
We've talked about like restaurants. We've looked at spaces for restaurants, but I can't really cook. Let's be honest, she can't really cook either.
no, it's not my forte.
Really?
No, oh no.
Yeah, we ordered out a lot.
I could order you some banging Chinese food though.
She can make some mean pancakes, so.
Woo.
So we always did that. A couple years ago, like 10 years ago, we tried doing the lingerie thing online.
Yep. I had
More
plus
than 10 years
size
ago.
lingerie thing going that I should have, and I
Wait, you were
could have
modeling?
kept with. No. I started a lingerie, like a plus size lingerie.
Online,
Awesome.
trying
It
to
was
sell, yeah.
So
It
you
was-
had the entrepreneur small business
Yeah.
bug already in you.
And I wanted to zone in on something that I was passionate about. So we talked about food. I'm passionate about food. We love food. We love to eat a lot. I'm plus size, and it took me like into my adulthood to like be okay with that. I'm not saying that it's okay to be like unhealthy or have an unhealthy lifestyle, but I just realized like it is what it is. Like you take me as I am. I'm very proud, and I always still like my husband always still made me feel like very sexy in my own skin. So like the lingerie thing was like cool for me because I was comfortable with my size, and I was like, it was very hard to like find things your size when you're plus size. It still is very hard,
yes.
and if you find it, it's still very expensive. So
Or
my
it's ugly.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
quality's not the the buy online, get it in person type thing. It's
Yes.
always like that with plus size fashion.
So the plus size thing started before you even started refurnishing, or was it happening?
Yeah, this was
No,
like
it was-
years.
this
This
was
was years ago.
ago.
We
Yeah.
had one kid.
Yeah,
we had
He
Jacob.
was small. He was
Probably about 3 or 4.
yeah, about 3. Yeah, so we always wanted to own a storefront. So going back to your question, our garage was it was packed with furniture. We used to get
Wow.
furniture every week.
Our gazebo, our
Our
kitchen,
gazebo
our
was
dining
packed.
room.
We had furniture throughout the house. We even had a storage rental, and it was just a hassle. Like if someone wanted to see a piece, you have to dig it out from the back of the garage. You had to take everything out just for that one piece. So that's when we decided, like, all right, we need a spot where we can display everything.
I remember we were actually sitting on the porch one of the nights. We lived in Hartford. And we were sitting on the porch one night, and like we had like a really deep discussion about it. Alex had really cold feet, and I was just like,
yeah, I still do.
He's still-
I don't know what I'm doing. I get nervous every day.
Oh,
So he had really cold feet about it, and I remember I was like on the verge of tears. I was like, I just like really want this. Like I want to have my own. Like I want to share my art with people. Like I want exposure, and it was also very hard to get people to come into Hartford.
That was an
that's
issue we
true.
were having.
It
And you guys
was-
lived in the south end or the north end?
South end at that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Usually it's like, oh, we're on the south end. Like you're okay,
Right.
but I feel like that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
But that's why I told him, I was like, listen, like I want more exposure. I want people to see our stuff. I don't want us, like he said, to have to dig things out of the back of the garage. Like, we have things that, like, people need to see. People want this stuff, and we need to be more accessible. So he was like, it took a lot of, like, discussion, but he was finally like, I got you.
You just have to go for it. You just
pretty much
have to put everything on the table and just go.
So you had the skill, you had the passion, and you had the materials. What was the next step that you guys had to take in order to launch Refurnish CT, or the steps?
Funds.
Yeah, you need money. You need money to start something, you know, whether it's a loan or money from your savings. And
Because you have to rent the space. You have to, like, find the space
Right.
and buy it.
You have to rent the space. You have to think, like, you have to, like, pay your security. You have to pay some months in advance. So, I mean, we had kind of crunched the numbers. That was another thing. We crunched the numbers of what we were bringing in from home.
Yeah.
And I was just like, listen, this is the numbers we're doing from home. If we had a store where we're more accessible, it's, you know, we can turn things over faster.
Yeah.
So that was actually one of the things that helped convince too, was the fact that if we have more exposure, we can turn things over and have more things.
Right.
So funding is a big thing when you start any business. I mean, you're not going to start any kind of business without at least like 10.
Yeah, you always need cushion, you know, because it's not going to fly. Your sales are not going to fly, you know, from the jump.
Right.
So you need that cushion, you know, to fall back on. And
would you say that you also need savings, your current income, and a loan as well? Or does it really depend?
I think you have to do, I mean, I think it's going to be different for different people.
Everyone, yeah.
What did you guys do?
For us, we had a private lender. We had somebody, and that to me will forever, like.
Yeah, because I'm going to be real, my credit is not good.
It's shot. We're not taught. And this is something important. Like, we're not taught how to manage our money.
No.
In our culture, it is what it is.
You know,
like, it's
so
and we're set up already for failure.
Yeah, we're set up for failure. So we did it the hard way. So, you know, our credit sucks. But, you know, thank God we got the private lender. And we just had to present ourselves. We had to, you know, keep it real, and we did have to get a co-signer.
for the space.
Yeah, for the space.
Okay. So the funding was there, but now it was like, all right, you still like somebody's still not comfortable like giving you the space. Like, how do you convince someone?
Speaking of the space, were you guys intentional about where you wanted your store to be? Because you were living in Hartford, but you opened a place in Plainville, which is not close to Hartford, and it's predominantly white. So how did that happen?
We really wanted West Hartford.
We really wanted West Hartford.
Expensive.
It's so expensive.
Too expensive.
Yes.
The taxes are crazy.
So we looked there for a while. We couldn't really find anything. We looked around the Hartford area, but
nothing was like, oh, it's gonna do well. Like, right
yeah. And then again, Plainville we actually seen another spot. So we came to see the other spot. We seen it on Craigslist. We came to see it. And again, going back to the credit issue or being Puerto Rican, being young, the landlord didn't believe in us.
How old were you when you?
Oh, this was
2 years ago.
Like 2 years ago. Yeah, because we've been here a year and a half. So not that long ago.
Yeah.
So she doubted us. I'm not gonna see.
It wasn't. When you go into business, like you have to know that there's going to be negotiations. When we put a table on the floor, it's not always. It's wonderful when it happens that you get exactly what you're asking for. That's like you do a little dance. But you have to know when you go into business, there's negotiations. So especially when it comes to retail space, you negotiate it. There's like hands down, there's nothing about it. You
negotiate something. You go to a car dealership, you negotiate something.
Absolutely.
So this person she wasn't trying to negotiate on the space. So I think a lot of things got lost in communication with going back and forth like via email and everything like that. So long story short, it just didn't work out because like I said, she really didn't. I think she took our definitely she took our negotiation as a sign of not having the funding.
We weren't serious.
And she was wrong.
Yeah, that's really wrong.
She was
you
very
just want
wrong.
the best deal.
Yeah. And I'm actually super glad that didn't work out.
Yeah, me
yeah,
too.
because you guys are in a different space.
It was like a fourth of this space.
It was a nice space. It was new. It was like ready to
build.
move in. Maybe just a paint job, but it was a small space. So we're kind of glad that didn't work out.
I know.
Well,
your place is packed.
Yeah. So what I mean is that like you have to know that something like that is either a blessing in disguise or have to be able to say like, hey, everything happens for a reason.
Right.
And we're so much like that.
It didn't work out because it wasn't meant for me.
Exactly. And like now when we look around and we think about like how much inventory we have and everything that we have going on, we're like, all right, that never would have worked. And you're in a commitment. So had we done that and it didn't work out,
you would have been thinking about, wow, we have to expand. So we have to leave this place and go to another storefront.
And how do we do that? How does that work? So, so we chose, so Plainville, just like he said, we happened to see on Craigslist that a space was available, drove past this place, and we were like, hey, let's just like check it out. And it was perfect. It was a great deal.
I know, and it's a great location.
Yeah.
There's a lot around here.
Yeah. This area is actually like up and coming. Yeah.
Okay.
So when we took this space on, there wasn't much around us. A lot of what was around us was vacant. The hair salon that's next to us is very new. The restaurant is going to open up within the next couple of weeks. That space was vacant for a very long time. So really, and a lot of the time still, we have to draw in our business from the outside because people have forgotten about this area because it didn't offer anything for so long.
Yeah, so
right.
when people drive by, they don't even look over.
It's like when you go to downtown and a coffee shop pops up, you're like, well, I don't go to that street because it's abandoned.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's all about, like, you definitely, like, we've had to, like, really build our brand and, like, draw people in and find ways to let people know, like, hey, I don't know if you know, but there's something here.
Now, with the lender that you guys work with for this space, did they have any issues with you being Latino, being a young family, like you had in the other space?
No, there was like no so it's funny because actually the leasing office, the management company is in Hartford.
Oh, really?
Right? So they're cool. They're from New York.
They're from Queens, New York. So the owner actually travels like 2 to 3 times a week from New York every morning to his office in Hartford. I know he did bring it up, like, used furniture. Like, how is that going to work? I don't know if that's going to work.
But he never, like, doubted us.
He never doubted,
He was more so coming from a place, like, tell me more about this. Like, how does this work? And, like, that works for you right now? Like, you can make... He was
really surprised.
Yeah, he was more so wanting to know, like...
The numbers.
Like, there's a business for that?
Yeah.
Versus, like, oh, you guys think you could do this? So, like, there's a big difference between, like, he never questioned us. He was interested that there's, money to be made in this field.
That brings us to another question. Did you know about other refurnished style furniture stores? Because you can find furniture in like Savers and other thrift stores, but it's not refurnished. Like it's usually beat up. You have to fix it yourself.
You have to do the work still. We were not really familiar. I have to be honest. No, I don't think.
Like you didn't do your research.
There was like shops like this.
I think we came into this kind of blind.
Very blind. Yeah. I just knew, like, again, coming back to the idea that we just knew we wanted to do.
I knew there was like a few, antique stores here and there, but no, I don't.
But they're usually really expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
that's what sets us apart.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the things that sets us apart.
Right.
Is that we're super budget friendly compared to a lot of people in this field, and especially because, and what I mean is that, we try to be fair on your pockets and considerate of our time, but also, all right, you could go on Craigslist, you could find a piece of furniture that's painted for maybe half the cost of what we're offering it here. But what is the quality? How long is that going to last you?
Right.
Did they paint it? So, because there's people in this field that do it as a hobby. They go home and they're bored and they're like, oh, let me slap some paint on this table. And they'll slap some latex paint on it and say, oh, here you go. And then like 2 months later, you're like,
it's
wow,
peeling,
this is peeling. It's not working. Like, this is an awful paint job. It's streaky. It's whatever might be the case. So people don't think about the quality of the piece that you're buying for what you're buying it for,
right?
Versus what's going into it.
And
so
we stand behind our work. So
100%.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that you've gotten doubts because people are thinking, well, you're so young, you haven't been in this field for long, so what do you know is quality?
All the time. So I love old things.
Okay.
Like I could get
old cars, old houses.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I get lost in all things vintage and old.
That's awesome.
So, don't take me anywhere where don't take me to a junk shop because you won't find me for like 3 hours. anything like that. But so because I have such a passion for the vintage things, like I know how it's a lot of things. Like I do my research. I know how something should look in its original state, what it was intended to look like, what it was intended to feel like, or its purpose, things like that. And a lot of other people don't take the time to do that research. I think because of how young I am and Alex, I think that's like highly doubted that we can do this. So what I mean is that we actually had an older lady come in here. She's like well into her 70s, maybe nearing her 80s. And she came in and she was like, oh, I have a Hitchcock table that needs to be refinished. So Hitchcock is actually, this table's Hitchcock. Okay. It's a super quality brand. Like Hitchcock has history and it's worth money.
It's made here in Connecticut as well.
Yep. Okay. So not anyone can match or do it. All of their blends are custom. There's a couple different reasons why not just any regular Joe Schmo can refinish a Hitchcock dresser. So she came in and she liked us, but she was like, "Are you sure you can do it?" And I was like,
she was very hesitant.
And I was like,
from the beginning,
I kept telling her, I was like, "Yeah, we can do it. Like, trust me, I'm not worried about it. Like, I can do it for you." She like called and questioned it. She was like, "Are you sure? Like, you're really gonna be able to do it? Do you think?" And so I almost at one point turned away the job. Because I don't, I want people to come in here and know, like, you're going to get the best bang for your buck. You're going to get a quality job done. But at the same time, to be working under the pressure where somebody's doubting you is not comfortable either. So I'm confident enough to take the job in, but if you're not confident enough to let me do the job, then I'd rather not do it.
Right.
So long story short, she brought it in. She was still questioning it. Brought it in. I redid it for her, and when her husband came to pick it up, he was blown away.
Wow.
He was like,
couldn't believe it was his table.
He looked at it and he's like, "That's the table we brought you? Like, are you sure?" Like, it had like the cut marks and it had some paint on it and like different things just from like their grandkids and everything. Yeah. Hosting stuff, and like it was so satisfying. Wow. To know that I refinished that piece back to its original condition, and like even the customer couldn't believe it was their piece.
And what'd she call, like, when he got home with it?
Yeah, she called like 20 minutes later, and she was just like, "Oh my God, like you did this. You did this. Like, I can't believe this is like you." She was like at a loss.
So it was a review online and
2 reviews.
2 reviews, yeah.
Yep, and then
she called us back for more work.
Yep, she called us back for more work in her house. Good. So we went to her house and we did a chair, but it's just like, and she, like I said, she questioned the heck out of it. Yeah. To the point that I almost turned the work away. But then, like, to see how satisfied she was, and like I said, hired us again at a loss of words to even describe how happy she was. Like, that's why I do it. Wow. That's why I'm here.
That's satisfying.
So in the beginning, obviously people had doubts about, having a storefront in Plainville and you guys. So you launched in 2016, I'm assuming.
Yeah, end of 2016.
What did the store look like when you first got here?
Wow.
And what was the feeling and feedback at that point when you first opened up?
It was, well, we look back now, we had a lot of like nice pieces, but looking back at pictures, the store was very empty. Everything was so spread out, nothing was decorated. We just put pieces out. So we learned over time. So now we get different pieces to like dress up, a dining room table, the chairs. But it's a satisfying feeling knowing like that we started there with little product, and now like we have a lot more to offer. And
were you confident that, because were you working at the time, Alex? Was it wintertime?
No, I wasn't working at the time. No, we dropped everything and we were just doing this.
We were both doing this. We both committed to doing it.
Yeah.
Were you concerned, like that first month, like, are we gonna be able to pay rent?
Actually, we were surprised the first day. We ended up the first day being open. We sold the first
a bar top
table, and then another table that we had here. So we sold 2 things the first day.
Our first, like, we literally like opened the doors and someone came in.
Did you have like a grand opening thing?
No. We never got to. It was in the works, and we just never. So
it was just like, we're open, put it on Instagram, put it on social media, and you just kind of sat around and waited.
We sat around, and it was interesting. It was a good feeling. You're like, yeah, I'm the boss. This is my store. You're very excited. All you can do is promote online. Talk to people.
Yeah.
And we didn't expect to sell anything that first week, and the first day we sold a few things.
We did a couple hundred on our first day.
Yeah.
So I just want to go back to how you were saying, like, what it was like here. Because our first window display was one single couch.
It was a couch, yes.
2 small tables, and a lamp.
I feel like I remember that.
I bet you do, because that was awful. It was a brown couch. It had like a nautical vibe.
Yeah, it was a brown, like a chocolate brown couch. It was like
super pretty though.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a little cedar, and it had like a rope, like diamond detail.
Cross, like a cross
yeah.
detail. So, and the reason I laughed, like when you asked that, was because we actually looked at a picture. I was browsing through our uploads, and it was literally like I looked at the window display and I was like, how sad. Like, we were so proud. It's funny because at the time we were so proud. We were
like, wow, it looks great.
We were like, that looks awesome. Like, we have a storefront and we have like furniture in the window. And I look back now and I was like, that is the saddest window display I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God. It's funny because I saw on your Instagram that you were like, I'm so proud of Alex. He sold his window display or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, it's funny because you think of like stores like Macy's, like those New York stores that there's people who are hired just to do window displays.
Oh, yeah.
So I would never think that a window display makes a difference.
So our last window display, all the pieces that sold, actually brought in a lot of customers. So it's very important to keep that stocked and keep it looking good.
Yeah, I think we realize the importance of it now. Again, the whole like trial and error thing. So this is actually a main road that goes from like Plainville into Southington, and Southington is probably where
I almost killed myself in this little rotary, by the way.
You what?
I almost killed myself in this little rotary thing.
No. So
there's so much traffic around there.
Yes. So this is nothing compared to the week.
Wow.
This is dead compared to the week. So there's a lot of traffic that goes in through here. Now the problem most of the time is that we didn't have it actually until recently, the big sign on top.
The sign, so that was an issue.
Oh, that says Refurnish.
The one that says outside. Yeah, so when the cars were parked here, especially like, and you get a lot of like big trucks, like flatbed trucks. You get a lot of deliveries. So there's a lot of vans, and we're overlooked because when you're driving by,
right,
especially if you don't think there's something here, you're definitely not looking.
So we actually only put the sign up back in October.
The one up top.
The one up top. Yeah. So I think it made it. I wish we would have did it sooner.
It made a huge difference.
It made a huge difference. Like, people can actually see us now from down the street. Like, oh, I seen your sign, Refurnish. Okay, you guys must sell furniture. Let me stop. Yep. We actually had to put a furniture flagpole here too, because that helps.
So what I was saying. So what I mean is that this is a super busy road.
Yeah.
And people are just like, they're traveling through. They're not looking. They're in a zone. They're coming through this road they got purpose. They're going into Southington. They don't care about Plainville. So when we put that spring collection in the window, I had so many people that drove by, parked, and came in and was like, how long have you been here? That window display stopped me. That window display is amazing. Wow. So it felt so good because...
You put that together, Alex.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He did.
Her help, I had her upholster the seat for the chair.
Thank you, baby. So it was funny. So Alex, and it's true. Like what I wrote is like, I'm super proud of him because he had that idea, and I was just like, ugh. I mean, I guess you could do that with those pieces. I didn't have the same vision for the pieces, which, it happens. Like, we don't always, like, see eye to eye, but I trust him so much because of how well he does.
Say that a little louder, Vanessa.
I'm so proud of you. So Alex, like I said, our visions aren't always the same for what we're going to do to a piece. He had the vision for this collection, and I was like, I guess if you want to do it, fine, go ahead, do your thing. So, and like he said, like, I helped with the upholstery because that's not his forte. And he put the collection together. We put it in the window. And I'll never forget that lady walked in and she left. Right? Her and her husband came in. They walked through the store.
Yeah.
Did their thing. I was like, oh, any questions? Let me know. And they're like, okay. They stood in the window for a while and they left. And I was like, I always wonder, I have to be honest, like, dang, so what did they think when they walked through here? What was their mind? Did they like the store? Did they not like the store? Was there something they were interested in? Did they hate it all? So, like,
or did they not like us? Or did they leave because we were Hispanic?
Yeah, a lot of, there's so many questions. That always goes through my
mind,
yeah.
There's so many questions, when somebody comes in your store, maybe necessarily doesn't talk to you much or doesn't have questions or doesn't purchase something. So they left, and then, like, 2 hours later, they came back. And I was like, oh, you guys came back, you know, what can I help you with? Was there something in particular you wanted? And she looked at me, she goes, yeah, I want everything in your window.
You must have been like, what?
Write it up.
And I was like, so, like, you got questions about it? Is there anything you want to know? Or, like, she's like, yeah, do you deliver? And I was like, yeah, we deliver.
Yeah,
we
free delivery for you.
Don't worry about it. I can deliver it. Don't even think about it.
Do you do delivery?
We do delivery. Yeah,
Okay.
we do offer that. And again, it depends.
Everything in the window.
Everything.
She wanted everything?
She wanted all three
pieces
pieces that were in the window.
Wow.
That were painted blue. Yeah.
So I was just like, she was like, oh, you deliver? And I was like, yes, we do. Absolutely. No
I do it all. I
hesitation.
paint it.
When do you want it? Where do you want it?
Right.
And like I said, it wasn't even about like the money. It was about like she's seen that, something that my husband created. She's seen that and was like, I want all of it. I don't want
She probably went home and was like, where is that gonna fit?
No, for sure. And it was a beautiful. Oh my God, the house was gorgeous.
We delivered the next morning. Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful house, and it was just like with her taste and how she had things decorated. It was like
it's satisfying when you see where the pieces are gonna go, and you're like,
right.
wow,
When
like,
their new home.
Yeah, like this piece is in somebody's house. Like,
somebody with like really upscale taste and
bought something that I painted.
Right, and then they're gonna have a guest, and they're gonna say, where did you get this furniture from? And they're gonna bring you here
all the time.
What is your demographic that comes into this store? Is it mixed? Is it older white people? What is it like?
It's a lot of older white people.
Okay.
Occasionally you get some younger people, but it's a lot of older people.
So yeah, you're for the most part,
and they're mainly
because
white.
a lot of the businesses that are here are established or have been established for a really long time. So like the hair salon over, there's quite a few hair salons, but the hair salon over, like she's been there for quite a few years. So the printer shop, like you know, how many people still rely on a computer shop?
Right.
So everything around here has a customer base which was established way before we even thought of doing anything. So this area is a lot of like retirees. You have definitely a high volume.
It's middle class.
Middle class.
Working class, yeah.
And then it is nice when we get people in here who are in our age group, because for a few different reasons. So it's like, okay, we're drawing in a younger crowd. This is pretty cool.
Right,
you like
exciting.
our stuff.
Right.
But then you don't find a lot of people in our age group who have an appreciation for used things.
Yes.
Even though it's super...
or like quality stuff. They don't care. You know, they go to
IKEA
and you know, I don't want to say.
I mean, no shade.
IKEA stuff looks nice, but
no, but I hate putting it together.
Yeah,
yes,
I hate putting things together.
Well, so then think about those things that you put together, because we've had, and like if I was smarter about it when I was younger, there's no way in hell I would have bought the stuff from Bob's.
We used to go to Bob's all the time and spend ridiculous money on crap.
Yeah, max out credit lines to get the crappy stuff.
Oh, that's real.
And you should see our house now. Everything that pretty much everything we have is used.
Oh, and it makes me so happy.
But everything is unique, and everything has a story. Like, I got this from here. I got this from here. I only paid this for my TV stand. Yeah.
No, I'm jumping because when you said that, it reminds me. So to deviate a little bit, there's a store called Boomerangs in Boston, and it's a consignment shop, but it's all used furniture. But it's like used furniture as in it's used. Like, it is not refurnished. It's used furniture. So if you like
speed up.
Yeah, so if you like pick it up and it's beat up, you would have to fix it. So if you guys ever go to Boston, let me
Hello,
know.
yeah, I would.
I love Boomerangs, and you will find the best furniture in there, but you have to fix it up.
Okay,
we're okay with that.
I wanted to mention that because that's the only other furniture place or place that I know of that has just like used furniture only. Yeah. They have maybe like a couple of shoes and clothes, like Savers. You know how Savers has mostly clothes. Yep. Boomerangs is all furniture. Okay. And they have like legit, they'll have like bed, dressers, couches, everything, but they don't deliver, they don't refurnish. It's like you pick it up, they tag it, you have to put it in your own car and take it with you.
Come take it as it is.
Yeah.
It might be a thing. It'll have to be a thing, because I tell you what, if I let you into the basement, there's probably a couple things that could use some refurnishing that I don't even know when we'd be able to touch it.
Yeah,
we should have like a basement sale.
Yeah, we get stuff and it's just like, I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I'll do this to this, and then we forget about it. And it just sits in the basement or sits in storage for a year.
Yeah, you guys could totally do that because there's people who want used stuff and maybe they want to do it themselves.
Yeah.
Or...
And we do a lot of that too. We'll sell something as is, and the customer will paint it.
Yeah,
eventually.
I wanted to mention that because I'll go with you.
Thank you. No, we could definitely make it. We could
it.
definitely make it a trip, make it a thing because I love. So it's hard. That's one of I'll say it's like one of the downfalls of the business is that having to be here or having to be at our antique booth or like there's always somewhere to be. There's very little time for us to venture out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of disappointing because we want to like meet other people. We want to see other stores. Like we want to know what else is out there, but we're so restricted to like our commitment.
We're always especially with a retail location is hard. Or we're always doing something. We're always on the hunt for furniture.
Making
we're here,
a delivery, working on stuff.
Yeah, the kids. I feel bad for the kids.
Because it's the basement that has all this furniture that hasn't been touched yet, and then you have the boutique. You have a little spot in a boutique shop, like a little space.
It's a market. It's like an old factory. There's a bunch of other vendors, and we have a space there.
And then at home, you don't have stuff, right? Or you do?
Do we have stuff at home?
Yeah, just customer piece to get painted. Yeah.
I'll occasionally like bring a piece home that way. It's like just convenient sometimes to have the piece there.
Just have it there.
Or like in the winter when there's a snow day, like you bring that piece home and you paint it while you're in the house or something like that. Like it definitely it's like you kill two birds with one stone if you could do that sometimes.
But that makes sense because maybe you can't go to Massachusetts or New York to like a state sale or a consignment shop and pick up stuff because you have the family, you have the kids, you have the store.
Well, we got to make a trip out to Boston.
No,
because can I make like a sub shout out?
We'll do that.
Yeah.
Sub shout out. The Microplant Studio just opened in Boston, Mass. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a plant shop in
cute.
Boston. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know him personally, but we're following him. And he did go to Buckley High School, so I want to say he's from Connecticut and about the same age as us. And
Is he a person of color?
Yeah.
He's Puerto Rican. He's Hispanic. Nice. I want to say he's
Puerto Rican.
I believe he's Puerto Rican.
Sounds like we're taking a trip, y'all.
So, all right, so Boomerangs and Microplant Studio.
Yes.
We've been saying that we want to go out there to check him out.
Yeah.
So we gotta, Boston it is.
Sounds like fun.
Yes. So, what kind of feedback do you usually get from people who come into the store? So I came in and you really can't see inside the store until you open the door. Are you sitting behind the counter or are you guys in the back and then you come up and you're like, hey, welcome? The people are like, oh, who, you guys own it? What kind of reactions do you get?
Do you want me?
I'll let you answer that.
So, I mean, you're gonna get. It really kind of depends what I have going on.
Okay.
So another reason why our hours are kind of tailored the way that they are. I really like being at the counter and being, when you walk in, I really like greeting you and like, hey, let me know if you have any questions. Are you looking for something? So I want to be, here to greet you. A lot of the times we're so swamped with work that I'm like working the counter and back there. Like I'm just trying to like squeeze the work in between.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. I'm not always presented very well, but I'm always working, So I don't always look so pretty, but I'm trying to like do two things. When you're painting, you can't look pretty. You can't do both. You can't paint and look pretty.
Yeah.
It's like it's a give or take. So when I'm working on stuff, I'm back there. So you might come in, I might be sitting at the counter. I like to be there. But if you come in, I might not be out here. I might be in the back painting something. I always like keep an ear out. We've got the bell. That way we can hear when people come in. I can make sure to run out here and say, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
So always, I'm going to say, should I say always? I'm going to say 98% of the time, you get that look. And it's like, oh, you own this? And that can mean like it means so many different things.
Right.
So I know I'm certain that a lot of it has to do with, oh, but you're Puerto Rican, like you own this. Like we've had, and I'm not gonna lie, it's not just quote unquote like white people that question it. We've had people of color come in here and say like, are you like you guys own this? This is your thing?
And we always get like, oh, what got you into this? That we
they're
always get that
surprised.
question. Yeah, they're surprised that we have a passion for the furniture, for what we do, because we're young, because we're of color. You went to the town hall the other day wearing a Refurnish shirt.
Oh,
and she asked you if you were an employee.
I mean, shout out to the town of Plainville though that she was mad cool. She was cool, but she, I went to go make a payment at the town, and I had the shirt on, and she's like, oh, you work at Refurnish, and I was like, I own it. And she goes, no way, you own it? Yeah, my husband and I, we own it.
And those are those like little microaggressions that we have to deal with on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Because it's like, can we sit here and be mad at the people who assume, people
Mm-hmm.
of color or not, that you guys don't own an antique or refurbished or Refurnish CT kind of furniture shop? Honestly, it's like, yes, you can get mad, but it's like, who can blame them when society has set us up to think that, wow, this young Puerto Rican couple, why would they want to own a shop like this?
What do you mean they're not living off of welfare or sitting at home? What do you mean they know about antiques or solid wood pieces and quality things or having a passion or entrepreneurship? So I've never, I'm not going to say I've never been like bothered by it. It certainly bothers. I've never been angry about it because I know that it's more of a educational thing.
It's a learning moment for them.
Yeah, people need to be educated that not everyone in our culture, you know, we don't come here to just like live off of welfare. There's a lot of us who are driven, who, you know, I had a huge discussion about this with a customer yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
I really enjoy her company. But anyways, like, you know, Hispanic people can be successful. We are successful. We are driven. Yes. We have a drive to be better just like everyone else, to provide better for our children like everyone else, to leave a legacy for our children. And I think about it all the time, how I do feel like there's a change that's happening. Like, absolutely. We're going through a time where minorities are getting recognition. We're getting more respect. We're supporting each other more, because that's a big thing. Yeah. There's money within the colored community. I hate saying minorities because I don't feel like we're definitely not the minority. But anyway, anybody that's Hispanic, African American, Black,
POC, yeah.
There's definitely like an epidemic that's happening, and like we're coming for the top.
Yeah, and I think that what you said upon a couple of things that's important is that we have to support each other, and there is space for all of us. That it doesn't have to be a competition where like, oh, a white person on that street already has a furniture shop. Okay, well, we're unique. We're different. Yeah. What sets us apart is that we're doing this and this and that.
Or that we could be partners. That we could team up together. Right. That, you know, you don't always have what somebody's looking for. I don't always have what somebody's looking for. Right. But I might have what your customer wants, and your customer, you know, vice versa. Right. Like, we could work together. And we visited like a handful of communities where like there's like 5 of our kinds of shops all in the same like plaza or like facing each other or whatever it is. And like when you go into any of those shops, if you look around, whatever, if you tell them you're looking for something specific, they're like, oh,
I don't have it, but go down the street, you know, this person has it, or, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I went to a shop yesterday. Well, we went to a shop. I should stop saying I. We went to a shop yesterday that was a ways away from here. And they were in a community of antiques. Like, I mean, like, we drove for miles, and it was like antique this, shops, and antique that, an antique barn, and antiques back here, flea market over there, or whatever. So, like, I was talking to the owner there, and I was like, this is, like, such a destination area. Like, this is, like, I could get lost in this town, I promise you. So she goes, oh, here, I'm going to write down a few places for you. And, like, she cross-referenced, she gave me a list of other businesses like hers to go to. So I think it's unfortunate when people see it like I can be the only one, or I want to be the only one.
Or see you as a competition.
See you as a competition as opposed to an alliance. It's and especially when those people are of your same color, of your same kind, from your same background.
Have you gotten any friends or people you went to school with come visit you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. We've had
a lot of support, yeah.
We love you all. I just want to mention that. Like, we love everyone, like, and it doesn't mean that. So we've had people come in here and purchase, or had people come in here and
just
have us
visit. Like, it's nice when people just come visit.
Even when you come and visit, and if you can't make it here, that's okay, because our lives are crazy. Yeah. And like you said, we're a ways away from Hartford.
So I was like, they're not open on Sunday.
So yeah, I mean, don't ever hesitate. Like, we're not necessarily like open Sunday through Wednesday, but we do by appointment too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can hit us up on Instagram or call
just
us.
let us know. Hey,
we'll be here.
We
live right around the way, so
we're so close.
I did want to touch upon that. Why did you guys move to Plainville?
Opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, well, it really like made sense.
We were out here all day. The kids went to school right around the corner, so we just.
The kids were in the CREC program?
They were through the open choice.
The first year, yeah.
Yep, they got, so this was all by chance. I kind of like try to like.
Yeah, it was.
I'll try to keep it simple. I'm not a simple talker. So, when we were searching for the space for a lease, whatever space to rent, my mother bought a house. At the same week we found this spot, she made a commitment to a house up the street.
And it wasn't talked about or anything. It just happened.
She was like, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna buy this house in Plainville," and I was like, "We're gonna rent this space in Plainville." And she goes, "Oh, well, let's Google it, let's MapQuest it," and it's literally 2 minutes from the store.
Wow.
And so that was super exciting.
That's awesome.
So my mom and my stepfather have been like a major. They have been like, I can't even.
Without
super
it wouldn't be possible
big support.
without them.
Yeah.
Truly.
Without any, our parents, because,
Both
my parents stay with the kids. When we're here.
Yeah.
My mom's like, Friday nights, bring the kids over. You got stuff to do on Saturday. They can stay over.
Yeah.
You do what you have to do.
And your parents, Alex, live in Hartford? Or
East Hartford.
East Hartford.
Yeah, so we drive
So both sides of the family. Oh yeah, we're always still.
So
around.
when we first opened the store, the kids were going to school in Hartford. Gianna was going to one school in downtown. My mom would pick her up midday. Jacob was going to school on Hillside, so I would have to leave here, go pick him up, to then come back over here.
Wow.
So it was rough. So then the next school year, they got into school right around the corner through the CREC program. So I was saying how you can continue. Yeah, how they started at Open Choice.
So
right?
yeah, so the kids. So okay.
Things are starting to get in alignment because your mom got a house, you got the space.
We got the space. Then we applied. So after the business was up and running, my mom had lived here for a little while. Alex actually did the application for the Open Choice for the kids.
Yeah.
Which we've tried for years.
Many
for
years,
Open Choice.
year after year, and she kind of gave up on it.
Yeah.
And I just did it, and they got in, and
they happened to get selected for
Plainville,
That's which was
crazy.
like super exciting. Like I can't that moment that we got that we got the information that they were selected. It was like get out, and it just like the stars, like you said, it was aligning. The stars.
Like it was
aligning.
unbelievable how it happened.
But now we come back. So we come back, and I want people to know because we're real people. We're not swimming in money or anything like that. Again, going back to the idea that we weren't taught how to manage money and manage credit and do stuff like that because that's a big thing. I want to teach our kids. I want to educate them.
You guys should. Do something where you're two Latinos, you're a couple that runs a business. You should probably do a workshop or something for the community.
I appreciate you. Sometimes I don't feel that smart though.
What?
Yeah, I know.
What
sometimes
kind of workshop?
A workshop where you talk about how to create a small business.
Your sources, probably.
Yeah, what are the steps? Who to talk to, what you learn from it.
So if somebody else who wants to put it together, I will totally be like a speaker at that or something like that.
Because somebody did come to us asking what steps did you take? What did you have to do? A few people.
Yeah. So I'll try. So I'll try to keep it so when mom's living here, stores here, kids are in the school. And we're we would come to Plainville. We would drop the kids off at school because we that's always been a thing. We bring the kids to school.
That's
awesome. You get to talk. You get to see them off. They're the last person you
yell at them a little bit.
Yell at them a little bit. Get it together. Go to school. Go cry to your teacher. So I lost my thought, but so we dropped them off. So we were coming to Plainville at 8:30 in the morning. We were here, and then by the time we ran the store for the day, went back and picked them up from school, brought them to my mom for a little bit, came back to the store, went back and got them. By the time you get back to Hartford, it's 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And that's super unfair to them.
They do that every day, yeah. It's really bad for the little kids.
It's not fair to them.
Yeah, it's not fair to them. As a kid, all you want to do is stay home, watch TV, relax, kick back.
So the American dream is to buy a house. But nobody tells you that you shouldn't get a Kay's Jeweler account and run it up when you're 18.
Kay's Jeweler.
Because Kay's Jeweler, they give a credit card to everyone the day they turn 18, and they give you your $500 or your $1,200 credit line, whatever it is, and you run it up, and then you don't know how to manage your money, so you don't pay it.
Right.
Okay. So nobody. We weren't raised like that, and I just want to mention I love my mom, and now I've learned so much.
Because your mom ended up buying a house.
Yeah, so my mom. Well, that was my mom's second home. So she bought a home in Hartford, which is where we were living up until recently. And she's owned that house since I was 4 years old. So 24 years now or so, 23, 24 years now. She's owned that house. So this was her second home purchase.
Okay.
So
when did you start looking for homes here in Plainville?
It was overnight, and I don't think anybody believes that.
We always talk about owning a home, but again, we didn't have the means to own a home. But
still don't have the credit.
Yeah, we always just
progress.
to look, just to see what's out there, just to
even though you had the store, you still didn't feel comfortable jumping into that commitment.
No, definitely not.
Definitely.
We knew we wanted it, in our hearts, but financially, it was a lot. So she would always be looking and on the different websites and see what's
I'm like,
out
babe,
there.
look at this house. It's only this much. I know it needs work, and that's another thing.
Yeah.
So Alex was like, hell no, we're buying a move-in ready house. I'm not doing work. I'm not built for that. I don't got time to a fixer-upper.
I didn't want to fix her up.
But Vanessa loves old things, right? You know what I mean? Vanessa loves Victorian. She loves fixer-upper, transformation, whatever. So that was one of the things. It was like oil. We had two different views of what our first house was gonna be. I always wanted a fixer-upper. He wanted move-in ready. So I have to be honest. At the point that we happened to see the house for sale. Right around the way, literally, I can get to the house here in 30 seconds, 1 minute. We seen the house for sale, and it was a fixer upper, and I was like, it's so cute, Alex. This house is from the 1800s.
It's a very small house, and we have a lot of furniture. We have 3 kids, 2 dogs.
But if I could live in a tiny house, I would. Tinier.
Yeah.
So we definitely had to downsize. We had to keep it simple. We had to get rid of a lot of stuff.
But anyway, we seen this house, and I was like, Alex, look at this house. And it's not expensive. And it's cute. It's got a lot of character.
And it made sense for your budget and the location and everything.
Well, there was no budget.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why. Because there was no funds to buy a house. And that's what I mean. That there was no budget because you put a pen and paper together and write us down as candidates for home buyers. It wasn't
Alex
a thing.
Mentioned twice his credit was bad.
My credit was
both. His credit is bad, mine is worse.
Okay.
So I don't know how we got a business, and I don't know how we got a house.
But we did it. So it's possible. Don't, guys, anything you guys
no, really.
Do a workshop.
No, really,
awesome.
anything is possible.
Anything is possible. I promise you guys. Today might not feel like it, but tomorrow is another opportunity.
This is the hope episode.
I know. It's truly, I'll tell you guys, whatever you want, you can have it. Because my mom makes fun of us all the time. She said, I never seen 2 broke-ass people start a business and buy a house.
That's so funny.
You're welcome. So we're real people. That's what I mean when I'm saying, we're real people. We're real broke-ass people.
Honestly,
with a passion for our family.
I'm 29. She's 28. No, you're 28, right?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, you just turned 28. Sorry. So,
you start. Once you're, I'll always be 21 at her.
I didn't think we were gonna buy our first home till I was almost 40.
It didn't.
With the way things were going,
it wasn't a thing.
It wasn't.
We would look at each other and we're like, babe, there's no way.
We're gonna rent forever. This is not possible.
We'll be. And I used to tell myself. I swear, I used to convince myself listen, everything happens different times for people. Who cares if we're 50 when we buy our first house? If we're happy at 50 buying our first house, I don't give a shit what people think.
Right.
And I had myself convinced that, and you shouldn't do that.
Yeah. You
shouldn't do that. You should set goals for yourself and let yourself know, because like I said, I was convinced that we would do it when we were 40, and not to say, because I know people who were in their 40s or whatever buying their first house, and that's whenever you do it is an exciting thing whenever you're ready. As long as you are ready. But don't convince yourself that you have to wait for anything. Go out and get it. So we seen this house for sale, and it was a owner finance opportunity. So with reason, there's a lot of reasons.
There's a lot of work to be done.
There's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of things.
How long have you been there?
December, end of December, close to Christmas. Right?
So 4 months.
4 months or so. So I actually drove by, and I talked to the lady, and she's like, I have an offer on the house. I got a contract pending, and I was like...
And there was two other people interested in the house.
I was so heartbroken. I was like...
So we jumped on it.
We're broke. Well, that was the thing. I was like, we're broke, and she has other people interested in our tiny house. So it was heartbreaking to hear oh, we're under contract. And I was like, all right, it wasn't meant to be.
Right.
So a week later, it was up on the market again. And I was like, it fell through, babe. I don't know what happened with the other person. Their loss is our gain. It fell through. This house is ours. So we made some calls, and again, got our private lending and our own funding that we had to work for. And we seen the house and bought it, put the deposit, did all that craziness in less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks, yeah.
Wow.
Took us about 2 weeks to buy the house. Again, because of the situation, owner finance. Like, it's all very different when you're owner financing and doing all that.
Yeah.
But we
You
still
don't
had
got
to go
banks
through the
involved.
traditional lawyer and all the
Lawyer
paperwork.
contracts, all that stuff is the same, but it's just different because you don't have, like, the bank is not your middleman. So we bought a house in 2 weeks.
So in the last 2 years, you had a baby, you opened a business, and you bought a house.
The last
the
3
the
years,
baby's
yeah.
gonna be 3.
Oh, so 3
Yeah.
years.
So in the last 3 years.
I mean, 3 years, that's a lot to do in 3 years.
Who you telling? I would never. And that's why I get so excited, because I'm like, where are we going to be? I said it to you in bed last night. Where are we going to be in a year?
Right, because how do you feel about where the business is now? You know, you have a house, you have a family that's growing, and are you successful?
It's not growing anymore. Like, the only thing that's going to grow is, like, the kids.
I mean, like, they're getting taller.
Yeah. I just want to make that clear. The only thing growing about our family is that the kids are going to get bigger. But there's no more. So...
Do you feel like the store is successful, and do you feel happy about the decisions that you've made?
Happy about the decisions, yes. Sometimes, on our slow days, you know, I do say, I wish we were in a different location, you know, somewhere with more traffic. Because over here, when it snows, when it rains, it's dead. We close early, you know.
I mean, in any
dead.
business, though, it's like it's a roller coaster.
But yeah, definitely happy with the decisions that we made. We just hope to expand in the next couple of years.
So
it's a bigger location or another location.
Yeah, I've had so many ways that like if you know me, like my mind moves like really, really fast, and I get all these crazy ideas, and I want to do them tomorrow.
Pull her back to reality.
Yeah, we got this thing where he like yanks me back, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry. So so
the dreamer.
It's I'm so unrealistic. But like I said, because I'm that unrealistic, and Alex is like super realistic, like it's a yin and a yang, like we meet in the middle because of that. So
it must have its challenges as well to be a couple owning a business and having your business partner be your partner and having to separate love and work and family and all that stuff.
And it's hard.
It doesn't. And I was gonna say, like, I don't think we haven't found that separate.
No.
That separation. It's totally. It's one pit of all of it.
I feel like all we talk about is the business and how we can make the business. Like when we're at home, you know, I try to relax and do something with the kids or watch TV, and it's just like
my mind is always racing.
Yeah, the business. Like what else can we do? Or like we have to go get this piece of furniture. So it's always like we're always working. So it's kind of hard to separate. You know.
So to bring it back to your question, I think we're super hopeful that we only go up from here, that we only expand more. There's been talk of another location, which is, so I have to be honest, so because you did ask like any regrets or anything you would do different, right? Was one of your questions.
I guess, yeah.
In a sense, right? Well, if anything, I have to be honest, I think I didn't think about, so in this field, you have people who do the storefront, but then you have people that have like the vendor space, the booth market, the booth at the market, and they do it that way. Now, I kind of envy those people, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So if we would have known about antique markets and booths at that time, which is why Alex says we came in very, very blind. I want you to know that. Had we done more research, I think we would have started at a booth, taking a few of our things, displaying it in somebody else's location at a booth or whatever. That's a couple of $100 a month. I think we could have and started there.
Or did at least like a booth, you know, in this town, a booth, you know, in this part of Connecticut.
We've met a lot of people who do it that way, or even in other states.
Yeah.
So I would have started in a booth. We didn't do it that way, but anyways. So we started with the store. We've expanded into the booth at the market. At the market, we just this month expanded into a bigger space within that market. So, you know, I already like feel the growth. I'm really like proud of that. So we started with like this little teeny tiny corner at the market, this little small area, and then we talked to the owner, and now we're in like this huge, like you go up the stairs and like our space is like
a prime
it's
spot.
What greets you.
Wow.
It's a prime spot at the market. So we're growing there. There's been talk about a second location, but growing is difficult for a small business when it's just like us two running it. And Alex is working. He doesn't just work here at the store. He works full time.
I started working just to make sure that we had
Oh, so now you're working full time.
I'm working full time, yeah, second shift. So
there's got to be a
after we
cushion.
bought the house, yeah, just if anything bad happens,
No,
you want to be comfortable. Yeah, we have a store. Our mortgage for the store and our mortgage for the house and our lease at the store is like the same amount a month. Yeah, it's not a little bit of money.
So basically, we have 3 rents because of the market.
Right. So we've got the store overhead, the house, and then our market overhead. So that's like
3
scary.
big chunks. Yeah,
that's scary.
And the kids are expensive, so
oh yeah,
kids are expensive. Yeah,
they
for
like
sure.
to do extravagant.
yeah.
They want to do things.
Yeah.
So I could only hope to expand, and I think if we expanded, it would definitely be like through partnerships, maybe, possibly, or something like that.
Other booths, like, and you having your stuff in other people's location. Is that what you're thinking?
No,
about?
like another refurnished location.
Like another refurnished, but maybe
in a prime location.
Yeah, but you just have
that
to
would
have
mean
somebody
also
else to run
hiring
it.
staff.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a
Which
big
is
step.
that's scary. That scares me.
You're responsible for like cutting someone a check every week, every 2 weeks, and like knowing like your employees knowing that they are comfortable and working for you because.
Do you see this being like, the kids are small, but do you see this being like a family business that you can pass down to the kids and
that's what we hope.
That's what we hope for. I mean, eventually, like I want Refurnish to be like a bigger thing. Like I don't want to stop at like painting someone's table or chair.
Hope you guys are as big as like Walmart. Like you have like a huge
but like without gypping employees or anything that.
No, as big as in size. Not like that.
So our kids come here and they, Jacob doesn't like to do anything, but
no, Jacob likes to. He likes to like full cashier.
He likes to do the register.
He's a cashier.
But he helps out by taking out the trash. Gianna loves cleaning up. She likes to dust things down.
Oh, she loves going into people's houses and looking at their stuff and knowing about it.
Cute.
And like she is all in it. Like I'll tell you what, she might be the one to take it over.
Yeah,
if anyone
for sure.
Well, it sounds like from what you've told me so far that Refurnish is gonna grow because you've kind of beat the odds. You came in blind. You didn't have all the resources. You had no advice. You had no one telling you anything. It just was the passion and the drive and the skill that brought you to this place.
Pretty much. Yep,
Yeah,
definitely.
And with everything that you guys have going on, because Alex, now you have a full-time job. You have 3 kids. You have the storefront. And you have the antique stuff. What do you guys do to keep you grounded?
Man. I don't know. I don't know that my feet are even touching the ground.
Yeah, I don't know if, which is scary, is, I always think about it, like, I gotta take care of myself.
Yeah.
Just rest when I can, I guess.
We're not at a point where we're like, we don't have downtime. It's overwhelming. There's no downtime. There's no like you said, like our relationship, our family, our business, our work, everything is just like one big ball of like keep going.
Yeah.
And you haven't had the chance to probably focus on like Alex and Vanessa and refill your cups.
No.
Or you, Vanessa, separately, and you, Alex, separately.
Like we try to do, we try to go out from time to time. Like, all right, we're gonna do this, but there's always work involved.
There's always
like work talk or
we're away from the kids and we talk about the kids.
Yeah, we talk about the kids. Like we can never like enjoy like.
I think
that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like.
I think it's pretty. I mean, I think it's normal for like parents to go away from their kids and like still like talk about their kids, or like we go to shop for ourselves and we shop for the kids.
That makes
sense.
It's
like second nature when you're a parent that when you're away from your kids you talk about them, even though you talk about being away from them. When you are away, you talk about them, and when you go shopping for you shop for them. So we haven't. It's okay that we haven't found that balance yet.
I think it is. It's very early.
Yeah.
It's very early. And when you start hiring people and you guys start growing, you probably won't even be in the store. You'll be able to go on vacations
and have to
and stay home and do more of the fun work at home and then come in and bring the material. Or maybe you're the delivery people so people can see your face because you're the face of Refurnish CT.
Yeah, I think that's a scary thing too, though.
What's that?
Like letting somebody else So because your reputation in a business this small is everything. So like one bad incident, one bad review, one bad experience for anyone is everything. So it's so scary to like Because of what we do. I think if I was like a wholesale resale home accents type of store, then I mean it is what it is. Like the product is not something that you're.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Right. Here we make the product,
and you whoever is in the store working represents you in the product.
Everything, everything about it. So it would be scary for us to like. I don't see myself not being like too
nervous.
Involved.
Well, it sounds like every single decision that you've made has been scary, and you haven't had guidance about it. So when you hire someone, it's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be you guys are gonna be sitting on the porch. Talking about who do we hire? The stars are gonna align. Yeah. And then I'm gonna come and be like, who's this person? Why are they working here? Yeah. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Alex and Vanessa. Yeah. Right. So I'm assuming that you don't do anything for self-care.
That's really sad.
She likes shopping. She likes to go shop.
I'm like, again, my work is my therapy. Okay. Because when I go like dumpster diving, or if I go like vintage shopping, or like when I do stuff like that, like
that's my shopping. I thought you meant like going to the mall.
No, she doesn't go to the mall.
I don't go to the mall.
I go to the mall. I have to drag her.
I don't. I don't go to the mall. I don't go to like your like day-to-day stores, your like big box stores or anything like that. Like getting lost in my hunt is my therapy.
Or paint, like
painting.
I could take her on a date to go buy some paint for furniture,
and I'm so happy.
Yeah, that's all she needs.
No, I'm serious. That's awesome. So painting furniture, restoring furniture, doing all this is my outlet. It's like my therapeutic time. Like I've come here like I have to be like I have times where I've been overwhelmed and I come here and I paint and like I'm in my own thoughts. I'll have a music blast or whatever, and like I'm in my own thoughts. I can process whatever has happened or anything like that, and like I get through it by working on the furniture.
Okay. So the work that you're doing is part of your self-care, probably therapy.
Is that weird?
No, that's not weird. It's whatever works for you, you know. So it might be, for Alex, it could be like going for a drive, or maybe it's getting your nails done. It really is whatever you do for yourself.
See, I don't know. I just go with the flow.
But when you want like alone time or Alex time, what is it that you do to relax?
I would say like go to the mall. Like even if it's to walk around, I enjoy that.
That's good.
Alex likes looking good, and I respect it.
I like what?
You like looking good.
Oh, thanks. Or like there was one point that I was really into sneakers. So okay. Even if it was just to go like window shopping, like I'm cool with that.
So I feel like shopping is our self-care.
Yeah, I guess.
Shopping is
Could that be a thing?
Yeah.
Shopping
or doing stuff with the kids. Yeah. It always involves the kids.
What's one piece of advice that you would give to someone who wants to start a small business?
Would it be like cliche to say like don't give up?
No.
So don't give up. Like find like there's always a way. Like there was a lot of like roadblocks or like things that I wasn't like comfortable. Like you have to be willing to go outside of your comfort zone to get what you want and achieve what it is that you're trying to do.
Or just go for it. You're never gonna know if you don't go for it.
Don't be afraid. There's probably, now that I think about it, you asked that question, there's so many things like don't be afraid to fail. Yeah. I mean, there's
going to be a lot of regret
failures
if you don't
in this.
Go for it.
Yeah, we've hit road bumps. We've had failures, and like we learn from it every time. So I was painting my bookshelves for this new collection that we're doing, and I was listening to the podcast, and it cut out on me in the middle of the episode, and I was not happy about it. And I kept refreshing it, and I kept closing the app and opening it again. And I was like, and I was going to write to you, like, can you email me this episode because I can't finish listening.
Oh my God. What?
So,
did you end up finishing?
I think I was like at the tail end of the episode with Erica, the dreamer. Yes, I was at the tail episode of that. So I have like a couple of minutes that I need to listen to. It's probably your wrap up that I missed out on. But I was not. I was like refreshing it, and it was like unavailable. Like, what do you mean? I know who runs this podcast. I'm gonna go to her directly.
Right, like you're not gonna stop me.
Yeah, you can't stop me from listening to the end. So yeah, I actually don't even like when you post the new episodes. And even sometimes I go back and listen because I don't think people realize how their day-to-day stories relate to you. And that's all right, I'm gonna go back. I jumped so much. But your episode with Christine Christine.
Yes.
Okay. So your episode with Christine touched home because she was so genuine about like real struggles and real indecisiveness and like the ups and downs, emotions of life and careers and all of that. And you don't realize how much somebody else, another normal, regular person, relates to your story.
Absolutely. Especially with her, I think when people, there's like a disconnect. There's the folks who like our families have kids, and then it's like everybody else. So it's like I always get the like, well, you don't have kids, and you know you don't struggle, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's what we hear a lot. Us single people without kids. So Christina's in that group. Yeah. And she also has her bachelor's degree. So people think that because you have a degree, you have privilege, which I guess you have a certain amount of privilege. But as you can hear from the episode, she's had an unbalanced career. Yeah. Right now she's in Bible college in Australia, but she worked for that. Yeah. You know, and every job that she's had has deviated further away from where she got her bachelor's from because it just it didn't work out for her.
Yeah. So it's funny how that works. It is. So yeah, her episode just like I felt her so much, if that makes sense. Like I related to her so much, and like the emotions and like thinking that your life is going one way, but then it's like, nope, that's not your way. It's this way. Or stuff like that. So that's what brought me to post that, because I was really moved by that. And by that one, I'm a fan of all of them. I've loved everyone that has been on the show, but that episode in particular moved me. And that's why I posted it. Definitely. No, I know. Like, she doesn't know this, but we're really good friends.
Yes. When she comes back from Australia, we'll hang out.
Yeah, let her know that she's got a friend waiting here. So yeah, I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
Of the podcast, and like I said,
I always say we, but I appreciate it.
You.
Yeah.
No, you have to say we.
I mean, we. Well, yeah, you said you have a team, and
yeah, I have an editor, and I always say we. So
yeah, I'm telling you, I should probably say we more. I say I a lot. That's not right.
You say I.
That's not nice.
There's no I in team.
There is no I in team.
But I like me.
Yeah. Well, to finish off the episode, where can the folks find Refurnish CT? Where can they find you? And what are your hours?
You can find us everywhere.
All right, so you can find us on Instagram at Refurnish CT. And then you can find us on Facebook as Refurnish or Alexander Troche. We use both.
We use both to promote.
To promote the business. We really don't use
Troche is Troche.
Yep. Instagram, Facebook. We do have a website, and I have to be honest, because of how much our inventory changes and moves, our website's probably like super outdated. And I'm okay with that.
It's very hard to keep up with.
Well, I'm not okay. I shouldn't say I'm okay with that. But like I've learned to accept it just because it changes so much. I don't think that
people really go to websites. They want to just know the hours.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And then people tell me like, "Oh, I was on your website. I love your stuff." And I was like, "I don't have half that stuff anymore." I'm sorry.
Well, that stuff is gone. But no, like, the stuff that we repaint, we always post it on the website so you can browse the pictures on there.
Right. At least if you're wondering about your services, they can go on there and say, "Oh, wow, that's the work that they've done."
Yeah. So to be honest, I mean, your best bet is to follow us if you're really interested in keeping up with us. Instagram and Facebook are the most like up to date. That's where we put everything that's going on.
What are your spring and summer hours now?
So we are, for sure you will find us here Thursday and Friday, 10 a.m. to 6. Saturday from 10 to 4, and keep an eye out. We're considering opening on Sundays as well, expanding into Sundays. So again, you follow us on social media, you'll know exactly.
And everything, everything is always posted on there.
Email refurnishct@yahoo.com.
Our hours are also on Google, so if you go on Google and search.
Yelp, I heard you guys are on
Yelp.
And we got good reviews on Yelp too.
You guys are 4 stars.
I love very genuine reviews.
Yeah, other reviews are real. You know, I see other reviews in other businesses, and no shade, but you can tell what's a fake review.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We have very few reviews, and they're like 5-star, and I'm so good with that because they're genuine reviews.
Yeah, so on Google, Refurnish Plainville, you can see our hours on there.
Good.
And I do want to mention, if you are out there and you have shopped here, and you have visited the store, or you're following us, like, do give us a review then. That makes a big difference. Comment on our stuff if you like it. Leave us a review if you've used us or anything like that. Tell a friend and tell a friend.
And like our Facebook, because we're trying to...
Like our Facebook.
Yeah, we're trying to get that up and popping.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I like very organic findings.
And I will put all of this in the show notes so people will have no excuse where they can't find you.
Good.
Yes.
We're here.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate, because I feel like we're supporting each other.
Yep.
You know, I'm sure you don't need me to shout out your business, but
No, we love it. It's
because you're pretty much established.
we need every
But
person.
I need you.
we
So-
need every. I
Gotcha.
mean, we all again goes back to like supporting
Yes.
each other. Like in any little way that we can support each other, like we need to.
Yes.
So
We're always
thank
down.
you for having us on
Thank
the show.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Didn't you guys love that episode? Vanessa and Alex are so freaking cute. And who knew that Vanessa was so wise? I think that this couple is going to do so well. I'm so excited to see where Refurnish CT takes Alex and Vanessa. Let me tell you guys, when this episode ended, I bought so much stuff from their store now. Antiques and, browns, beiges. That is not my style in particular. I like more modern styles. So I was bummed that I couldn't buy a huge piece from them. But I ended up buying a few small pieces for my new apartment. And they literally have something for everyone. So please go visit them. Refurnish CT is on 13 Whiting Street in Plainville. I'll be putting that in the show notes. You can find them at www.refurnishct.com. On Instagram and on Facebook, they are Refurnish CT. And they're not just a storefront. Alex and Vanessa will also refurbish, paint, or do anything in your home around painting your cabinets, redoing your furniture, reupholstery, all that stuff. So please, please, please go visit them, go support them, go follow them. They are the cutest, and I can't wait to see where this store takes them. If you like this episode, make sure to rate, review, and subscribe. We are on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you will get all the information about who our guests are and what the upcoming episodes are as well. We also have an inbox, so make sure that you write us in. And the email address is basiclatinapodcast@gmail.com. Sorry, I almost ran out of fumes there for a second. So make sure that you write me in. If you have any questions for me or any of the past hosts, or guest hosts, I should say, or guests, we will be doing a listener letter episode very, 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 very soon, and you will be hearing that. And as always, these episodes sound so good because I have this bomb editor. Her name is Gabbie Barnes, my girl, and the music is by Michael Guns. Talk to you guys soon. Stay well and take care.